Hello everyone, and Dragon with you. So today I would like to show Adventure 12 with three physical teams. So physical teams include Celine with Kira team, Alex with Yasmin team, and me with also a Yasmin team. Although Alex has some mages and he uses them if necessary, they are still weak. So that's why I needed to help him, and I still went him with typical road which a mage usually goes, but two locations I captured instead. So let me show you real quick my plan about this adventure and why I think that Sebastian is a great hero for Adventure 12 in general. So that's the plan which I used. You see that Celine has a typical physical team rod at the right hand side, so the magic damage is reduced at a couple of locations, but she feels fine. Alex's pass is a pass where we have two locations with reduced physical damage by 90%. These two locations are highlighted with the red circles, and you see that actually I went through these locations. Also, in general, this plan worked nicely, but to do it, you need a super strong central player, which was done by me. So, real quick, let me explain what happened here, how we managed to get through this adventure, and I'll show you just several fights to demonstrate the general ideas. Okay, so let's go to the log section and check the most, I would say, interesting locations in general. Obviously, you would also like to know how I get location 12 in one shot, so let me start from that. Uh, some words about my allies. So Alex can play a Yasmin team and it's quite effective. If necessary, he also can switch into a magic team, but actually that's not a mainstream. You see that he often plays physical team. Sometimes he can add mages at the situation where he can't play Yasmin, for example, right? So still it's a physical based ally. Yes. What about Celine? So Celine also plays a nice team. This team is based on Kira and Yasmin, plus buffs from Nebula, and she plays a physical team. What about me? So I play a team based on Yasmin, but if necessary, I can swap characters. So I can add Sebastian, I can add Ju, Dorian, and also we have Isaac. Let's start from location 12 to show you what exactly solution I found for this particular location. So that's the fight. The opponent has 200% health buff, you see this, and also pure damage is reduced. That's why I can't rely on Yasmin's poison here. I could potentially rely on her physical damage, but she is vulnerable to magic attacks. That's why my decision was Isaac. So that's my typical arena team. Also, this team often defends at arena, at guild wars, and that's kind of one of my best teams. Isaac at first activation just silences the opponent, so Mojo can't ult. Orion also gets stuck. And the next activation lead to damage. So second silence, we have double armor penetration thanks to Isaac and Chin Mao. So they kind of help each other to deal even more damage to go through the enemy defenses. Also Chin Mao ruins the frontline defenses and tries to collect everybody in a line, which you see she does kind of effectively. And when the third activations and the following goes, damage is dealt by Isaac to the entire enemy team. Celeste is used here as a healer, but also she can throw the Dark Field to prevent the opponent from healing and to prevent Asteros from resurrecting his allies. If her Dark Field is stronger than the resurrection, then the opponent can't resurrect. So that's the damage dealt. You see that Chinmao was my main damage dealer with Fenris, then goes Isaac with Oliver to survive, Celeste with Merlin here, Asteros with Biscuit, and Martha with Oxen. Damage taken and healing. The next fight I wanted to talk about is the fight at location 24. So 24th location is highly defended here with multiple debuffers with minus 90% of damage, and that's why I didn't want Alex to fight there, instead I did it myself. So let me show you how exactly I fought there and what happened as a result. You see that I managed to one-shot this location as well. And the problem was triple debuffs. So we have Jorgen, Lian, and also stun from Faceless when he throws your units. Also, we have minus 90% physical damage at this location. But anyway, if I play another character, not Celeste here, but Sebastian, then my crit hits get extra pure damage. So we increase the crit hit chance for the team. Yasmin gets even more poisons, and you see that she can deal a huge amount of pure damage. Same about Chinmao. So while Yasmin is working hard at the back line with Albus's help to get even more pure damage, Chinmao breaks the front line, and with burning ability she is able to burn with pure damage the front line, also to drag percentage of health from the front line, which is really nice against tanks. And Sebastian is here to protect me from debuffs. But the amount of debuffs is so huge that you see that one moment he failed to do that, still, that was okay. We managed to survive. Marta helped a lot with her totem, I would say the tea party. Yeah, that's not totem, but actually a tea party. Anyway, and you see that Yasmin tries hard to finish the opponent with pure damage, and that works. That works just nicely. So that's how the fight went. Sebastian helped a lot here, and a physical team could beat the minus 90% location. Another fight was at the 25th, so situation was kind of similar. We have again physical damage reduction. I can't play Yasmin because we have Hellios here and I don't want to risk, so I play a typical team against Hellios. Hellios will charge my Isaac. Obviously we don't have a lot of important damage with physical teams. That's why Celeste is played here as a mage who can deal a lot of magic damage. And you will see that actually Celeste is a huge damage dealer. With her rerolls she is able to boost herself if necessary. Also Chinmao removes the front line's defenses and burns the opponent, which is pure damage, so it is not affected by the debuff. And here is how the fight goes. You'll see that at first I rely on just team survival while we try to break the opponent's defenses. Then goes actually the dark magic from Celeste. So her dark field also prevents resurrection, prevents healing, and you see that field is kind of powerful, so Arachne can't lifesteal for a long time while the field is here. And when we broke the defenses, then I can use my Celeste as a damage dealer. So we have one more minute. We have a huge amount of stuns, debuffs. Celeste can remove some debuffs with her light spheres. You see that kind of works as a soft counter to debuffs. And when I know that everything is okay, when I know that we can survive, the tea party is here, Axel's redirection is here, so I think, okay, it's time to get Celeste into the dark mode and kill everything here. So the second option, how I went through these defenses, was just Celeste into dark mode and use her damage. Here you see 90,000 from one shot. If she buffs herself with double rerolls, then she can deal even more. So now we have double reroll buff, Martha's buff, and you see that it was over 100,000 per hit. So here Celeste deals a lot of magic damage. Other characters try to go through with pure damage. And if we check the stats for this particular fight, you see that the main damage dealer was Celeste. Yeah, I'm not joking, that's true. So that's the second option. At location 18, we just had a situation, so I needed to go through this location. Anyway, it was defended with debuff. Let me show you the fight there, and then we'll go straight to the boss. So here we also have physical damage reduction. You see that my composition of team changed. This time I don't play Isaac, I play Sebastian instead of Marta. So I think that, okay, these all characters just try to remove my front line. My front line is Esteros, he was just eaten by Chabba, but anyway, when you deal too much damage to Yasmin, she starts to dance, and her deadly dance usually takes someone out of the game. Meanwhile, Celeste helps us to heal, and that was exactly my plan. You see that we have burnt Astrid. Sebastian is here to boost my crit hits, also to get extra pure damage from the crit hits, and you see that Yasmin removes the backline one by one. Meanwhile, Chinmao tries hard to get through Chabba. Together with Yasmin they do it, and soon after we have the total destruction as usual. So at the end of the fight I use Celeste as a damage dealer too. That's the last location which had debuffs. You see that Yasmin was the main damage dealers and Chinmao and Celeste almost equal. That's how I went through debuffs. And the last thing I wanted to show is the boss. So against the boss I used a special team. In the past I could not win the timer. So I got like 18 points, 17 points, too slow, right? So to stop being too slow, I just switched the team and did everything right. So let's check the replay of that fight, and I'll comment why this team is kind of okay. But keep in mind that my Yasmin is very powerful. She has all the artifacts, not all glyphs, right? Not all skins, right? But anyway, she is very powerful and kind of able to survive. So you see that main damage which is dealt is pure. Some physical hits also are here. But with Sebastian, your crit hits deal extra pure damage. And you see this huge amount of pure damage from burning, from Yasmin's poison. So actually, I would say that pure damage is really important here. Why I play Ju, I think obvious, because he has an ability which refers to percentage of the opponent's health. And he is a boss killer. So Ju is a boss killer, that's why I play Ju. Also, he helps Yasmin to crit more often. You see that the amount of crits is kind of nice. Sebastian helps both crit hit to get more pure damage. Chinmao is here to get armor penetration. Also, she has a burn ability and the drag health ability, which also refers to the enemy health. Here we go. So just she did it. And Dorian is here because Dorian is a lifesteal character. So I played same team but with Martha, and this team died. But with Dorian, we have lifesteal passive. Even with dead Dorian, if you stand near him, you can lifesteal. And that was the idea for this particular fight. Also, while Dorian was alive, he buffed my physical damage, which is really useful for other 4 characters. So it's a kind of nice team which is dealing huge amount of damage. I would also play Albus, but I didn't want to risk with Sebastian, so I played Axel to redirect damage and to make sure that only Dorian is removed. And we have Oliver on my Sebastian. So let me show you the team. You see that Ju is weak, Sebastian is weak, Dorian is weak. That's their patronages, so I tried to make them stronger with pets, Ju even without any support. And that's how we beat the boss. So actually I like this adventure. We try to get it, but usually we have a typical mage goes left, physical goes right, and I go mid because I can adapt to situation. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you is my heroes, how I play them. So let's start from, obviously the hero of this episode is Sebastian. That's the ability I rely on, so extra pure damage, depending on his physical attack, right? So when you get crit, you get extra damage. Also here removes debuffs 15 times, and also we have extra crit hit chance for allies. So all the abilities of Sebastian are just great for my team. Then we have Dorian. So Dorian basically gets lifesteal while he's alive. He can heal allies, he can deal some damage to the opponent, heal himself, and gets Vampirism Hour. And the third one is Ju. So Ju obviously gets speed bonus, then extra damage percentage. Then we have ICU, and the spirits will heal me. Yes. So let me just show you real quick the skins and stats. You see that Ju has maxed strength to survive against Seymour, but he is not maxed at other things. Yeah. So that's about Ju. Stats of Ju. That's about Dorian. Check the stats. So also we have skins, not impressive, right? Then we have glyphs, artifacts, nothing special, I would say. And Sebastian also. Artifacts in progress, glyphs in progress. I would say stats are not super impressive, and the skins are poorly developed. So even 3 weak characters are able to fight the boss and win at one shot. So thanks for watching, good luck to you, and see you in my next videos.